Good afternoon. I hope you had a good break. Your minds are all clear, got plenty of rest. This is going to be like a classroom presentation, so bear with me. That means you need to take notes, okay? This is my first presentation as representing the African Diaspora Business Council. And the African Diaspora Business Council is dedicated primarily to one mission. We want to increase trade between the United States diaspora and Africa, and between Africa and the United States diaspora. Okay, so all the things I'm going to talk about relate to getting some results done. All right, so let me go to my first slide and talk about entrepreneurship. Since this is an entrepreneurship conference, we need to talk about it as soon as I get this working. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, the three areas that we're going to discuss: entrepreneurship, government procurement, and doing business in Africa. So hopefully you can follow me as we swing through this in the time that's allotted. First of all, I want to remind all of you, I'm sure that you know this already, so bear with me, that we're in a capitalistic society. Our economic system is capitalism. It's not socialism, it's capitalism. Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Those are the four pillars of capitalism. If you don't have all four, you may as well stay in bed, okay? You gotta have all four, all right? And when we talk about what's important about Africa, guess what? Africa's got all the land. Got more land than anybody else in the world. That's one reason Africa is important. Entrepreneurship is what? Organizing a business undertaking, assuming the risk for the sake of profit, okay? You gotta have a business operations, buying and selling, providing services, products, okay? You're taking a risk because you're either investing your money and time or somebody else's money. And most importantly, you gotta make a profit. Back to that capitalism thing, for profit. Entrepreneurship has to be for profit. Let's talk about some business operations, fundamentals. Everybody knows this, but like I said, I want you to bear with me as we go through the basics. The number one important part about having a business is what? Customer service. Satisfied customers, that's what brings you the revenue. Repeat customers is what keeps you in business. Management operations. You got to do something. You got to provide some value. It's called a value proposition. When people are doing business with you, why should they do business with you versus doing business with somebody else? You have to have better products, okay, better service, okay, and you have to help them get to where they want to go. If you help somebody else do what they need to do, they in turn will help you get to where you need to go. Financial management, and this is real important, okay? Why I say is this real important. You have to keep your eye on the money, because if you don't have the money in the right place at the right time, your business will fail. That's why I'm talking about cash flow. In the beginning, you have money because what? You get investors. Your investors are your family and friends or your own savings account, all right? But that's just in the beginning. That's called a startup capital. But once you start operating your business, then what? You've got monthly sales targets, okay? And when you have sales, that sounds wonderful, gross sales, but what? You got expenses, okay? After you pay all your bills, then you have the net profit. And you want to make sure you always have a positive net profit. And the way that you keep track of that is always to look at your cash flow. So cash flow is real important. That's what's going to help you make that payroll on Friday. I mean, you don't know when you're going to get paid, but you know you better pay those employees on Friday or else your business will close down Friday night, all right? Marketing and brand management and sales. People need to know who you are. And in this day and time, you talk about social media, We're talking about websites. Everything is happening so fast. If people don't know who you are, they won't know where to find you to give you some more money to buy what you're selling. You have to build your brand. Your brand is what you're going to use in marketing when you're doing sales, whether you put together a little advertising card, whether you buy an ad on television or radio, whether you create your website. Can you imagine the website? You got your name on it, it's great, and then you want to change it every week? Change your name every week, every month? People, your customers wouldn't be able to find you. So brand management becomes very important because that's where your sales are going to be. And the fifth area, these are not all exhaustive, but for the time limit, I thought I'd at least hit these top ones. Human capital. What is happening in today's business world is you find that people are now more important than anything else in your business. Why is that? The way people manage and work in your business determines your profit margin. If they do something that takes 10 hours and they do it in 15 hours, you've lost some money. If they do it in 9 hours, you've made some money. That productivity comes from human capital, and that affects your bottom line. How customers are treated. If you got employees that don't care about your customers and just deliver the goods late or have some sloppy service, bad service, you're going to go out of business. Training. Upgrade your employees every chance you get. Teach them. Make them feel like they are part of the entire enterprise. That's what you're building, an enterprise. And they need to feel that they're just as important as anybody else or that big new piece of equipment that you got. The employees is a human capital, and that's just as important as the actual money that you have in your business. Next area, government procurement. Government procurement, some people say they don't like government procurement. But let me tell you this, what's the advantage to government procurement is you're talking about larger sales revenues. Larger sales revenues over a period of time, 1 to 5 years. Now, when you're in the retail business, you open up on Monday, and then hopefully by Saturday you made some money. You don't know, but every day is a different day, different customers every day, and you worry every day. If you get a good government contract, you know what your sales revenue and what cash flow is going to be for a good year. And sometimes you get a contract that may be for 5 years or more. So proposals for government contracts, when you got to write that proposal, is very, very important. It's very lucrative. That's how you grow businesses, especially in this area. You're talking about the Washington metropolitan area. There are a lot of thousands of companies. That's all they do is do government procurement. And bids. Those of you that are selling products or supplies, you know, you bid on a product, and once again, you get a bid for one time, or if you're lucky, multiple times. You know, they want to have that same product delivered on a regular basis. Once again, you got cash flow now that what you can count on. Cash flow that you know you can pay your bills with on a regular basis because you got a contract with one of these government entities. The place to go for federal contracts to look at the opportunities is a website called FedBizOps. Okay? You go to FedBizOps and it has all the federal agencies listed. Okay? And they will tell you what bids and proposals that they have coming out. In Maryland, it's the e-Maryland Marketplace. And once again, once you get registered with the e-Maryland Marketplace, guess what? They send you bids in your particular area. They'll tell you what's coming up, but you got to get registered. Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and the D.C. Office of Contracting and Procurement. These are your local government offices that have special procurement programs for small and minority businesses. Why is that important? Well, if you're bidding on a contract or for a product or particular service, it makes a difference what? Who you're bidding against. If you're bidding from everybody else in the world, including IBM and AT&T, that means that your chances of winning, if you're a small business, are slim. But if you're bidding in a group of contracts that are what? Set aside for just small businesses, you have a better chance of winning that particular bid. All of these, the government procurement, what's important there is something called certification. Let me go to the next. Certification certifies you in a particular category that what reduces the marketplace as to who your competition is in a bid, all right? Small business is the #1 category for most of us. So Small Business Administration allows you to get certified in the small business area. The federal government has passed a law that says what, 23% of all federal procurement, trillions of dollars in money, 23% of that has to go to small business. So once again, you're narrowing that scope of competition that you have to deal with. To narrow it further, they've got some other programs, the 8A program. The 8A program is a 9-year program for businesses to set aside to say this particular market is just for 8A businesses to bid on. Women-owned businesses. Once again, you've got a special program that says only women can bid on certain contracts. Each agency has a quota that they've got to meet in each one of these categories. And women-owned businesses, I tell you, all women out here, if you're in business, you need to sign up for this because you can certify yourself. Or you can get some help from some of the particular associations that are helping women get certified. But it's worth it because once again, the market, the people that you're bidding against is smaller than the whole general market of businesses that do exist. Disabled veterans, if you've been a veteran, if you get that veteran status, disabled, they got contracts just for veterans. Hub Zone, if you're in a particular geographic area, there are contracts that are available for Hub Zone. And what happens at the end of the year, each agency starts looking at their contract and say, well, did I do enough women? Did I do enough 8A? Did I do it? And if they haven't done enough, they want to give a good report, they're going to try to fine you. They can only fine you if what? If you're certified on the certified list. And the same thing with the state. In the state of Maryland, in the county, they've got MDOT in Maryland. That's the Maryland Department of Transportation. That's the #1 place to get certified for the state of Maryland. And then DBEs, that's the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And in Washington, D.C., they call it CBE. Okay? So these are some things that you have to do. I mean, the certification is almost like finding out if you're really serious about business. I know it's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of headache to fill out, but these are all the things that you need to do if you're going to be in business. They need to be able to assess your capacity and your capability to deliver whatever it is that you say that you're going to deliver. That's the 2 new words out there in government procurement now, capacity and capability. All right? Capability means, do you have the technical skills to do the work? All right? Do you have the expertise? Do you have 5 past performances to say that you've done it satisfactorily for somebody else? Okay? Capacity means, do you have the financial capacity to get the job done? You know, you get a contract, you may not get paid for 90 days. Do you have a relationship with a bank to give you a line of credit to hold you over for those 90 days? If not a bank, some other kind of financial alternative lending institution that will finance your contract so you can meet your payroll. Marketing and business development. You know, I try to tell business owners and CEOs, this is your job. You know, you may have fun being a technician, fixing the computer, driving the truck, but your job is to what? Get the business. You've got to get the customers. And you have to be concerned about how you market your enterprise. Because that's what it is now. It's enterprise, not just you. It's the enterprise that you're marketing. You got to go to trade fairs. You got to go to small business conferences, symposiums, listen to guest speakers, expert panelists, gain that information, join business trade associations, take advantage of these technical assistance organizations that are free. Small Business Development Centers, okay, that's sponsored by SBA. If you have a problem with a particular aspect of the business operations that we talked about earlier, ask them how they can help you, and they will help you, either individual counseling or they'll tell you some seminar or program that you need to go to. Same thing with MBDA, a Minority Business Development Agency. They have business centers located in this area that will do the same thing. They will help you get contracts. They will help you get loans. Because getting a loan is not hard if you know what you're doing, and how to put the package together. And there's someone there to tell you about that. And the same thing with getting a contract. There's ways to get contracts. I told you about Feds Bid Ops, but that's just the beginning. You got to get to know the agency procurement people. They have to get to know you. They have to trust you to do the work that you say you can do. SCORE, okay? That's a group of retired executives that are specialists in the field that you're in. Your business has a particular industry sector. There are people that are willing to give you advice. Once again, it's another SBA program where we've got volunteers that can help you. You need to take advantage of all of this information. Why? The successful businesses are the ones that make the fewest mistakes. And because mistakes cost you money, okay? So it's real important that you know this. And of course, peer group networking. If you do this last one here, doing business with Africa, that's why I'm here today. African Union represents all 55 countries in Africa. Recently, they enacted something called the Continental Free Trade Area that eliminates barriers to inter-country trade. Africa is hot. Africa is jumping. Africa has 6 of the fastest growing economies in the world. It's growing fast economically, has a young population. At 1.2 billion, it's expected to grow to 2.5 billion by 2030. The African Growth and Opportunity Act allows duty-free imports to over 6,000 products from African countries into the U.S. Most of it is in oil and gas, some of it is in textiles. The balance of trade now between the U.S. and Africa is in the favor of the U.S. Isn't that incredible? That's incredible. Exports. U.S. Export Assistance Center, SBA loans, U.S. Trade Development Agency feasibility study, Ex-Im Bank loan guarantees and insurance. All these things are available to U.S. businesses. You need to take advantage of that. The African diaspora is 45 million strong in the U.S., 500 million worldwide. Building trading relationships among ourselves will benefit Africa and us. And I thank you for your time.